Hey guys, welcome back to Jay's Auto Detailing. Next up for a detail is this 1968 Mustang GT. So a little info on this car as I talked to the owner. It was repainted about 17 years ago. It's got a lot of small little scratches and stuff in it just from over the years of wiping it down, and it just needs to be gone over, and obviously that's what it's here for. So let me take you around and show you what the paint looks like, and then I'll tell you a little more about the car.
When the customer dropped this car off, he did mention that he doesn't really use soap and water, doesn't really get the car wet when he cleans it, basically just wiping it down. So if there's any dust on there, he's using something like a California duster or a microfiber towel to clean the car up before he takes it out. And what you're seeing as I move the light across the hood here are the effects of that. So basically, if you're using a California duster, you're dragging any debris that is stuck to the paint or stuck to the surface across the clear coat, which is causing this micro marring that you see with the light shining on the paint. One way to alleviate that problem, or actually slow it down a little bit, would be to use something like a waterless wash. What that's going to do is lubricate the surface and help raise the dirt off of the surface so that when you are wiping it with a clean, soft microfiber towel, it's not going to be grinding it into the clear coat of your vehicle.
So this car was ordered brand new in 1968 from the owner's father. It's been handed down to him and his brother, and obviously they're keeping it in the family. Rightly so, it's a beautiful car. So they did some work to it, like I mentioned earlier, about 17 years ago. The car was repainted, some things were gone over. But this car, when it was ordered in 1968 by their father, he ordered some special things for it. He wanted specifically the black stripes on the hood. Ford told him they didn't come with black stripes on the hood. He insisted he wanted it, so that was an option they threw in there. For a whopping $19, they painted those stripes on the hood for him. 19 bucks. He had the sheet here, the printout of all the options that were in this car, and that's pretty cool because I had a Shelby GT500 in here, I believe 2 years ago, and the option for the painted stripe on that car was like a few $1,000s just for the painted stripe. Here in 1968, we're getting it painted on there for $19. On the build sheet, the tachometer and trip odometer option was more than the stripes getting painted on the hood. That was $54.45. He upgraded from a 289 to a 302. He obviously got the black convertible top, the GT equipment group, it says on here, for $146, and some other various things. The AM radio, $61.40. So he got a lot of options in this car. It's been in the family. The customer told me he remembers he and his brother in the back seat, a couple years old, just out cruising around with their dad. This was their family car, and it's still in the family. I've known the brothers for years. I've seen them at several car shows, and that's what it's here for right now. It's here to get cleaned up because we got some car shows coming up. We're in April. The weather's finally starting to break, get nice. You can see there's another vehicle behind me that's getting shined up tomorrow. So we're gonna get to rolling on this. It's gonna take a little while, but the scratches and the scuff marks and things are not like super incredibly deep in the paint itself. So I don't think it's gonna take too terribly long. I'll get my test spot, figure out what we're gonna use, and then we'll go from there. Once I get the paint perfected on this car, I'm going to be putting the Jade Graphene ceramic coating on here, get it fully protected, and this coating's gonna last a pretty long time. It's rated at a 5-year coating like you've seen in my other videos, but when you put it on a car like this, I don't know, 10 years, more, it's not really gonna be out in the weather. He said he barely drives it besides for an occasional cruise now and then, but it's definitely gonna wake up this paint, that's for sure. It's gonna add some gloss and of course add some great protection to it as well.
Generally speaking, whenever a classic vehicle like this comes in, they're never really crazy dirty, so the washing process usually goes pretty quick. With this car, I'm just going to give it a quick rinse, foam, and a wipe down with a microfiber wash mitt, dry it off, and we'll be ready to do a test spot, and see what process we're going to use to perfect this paint. Not that you couldn't see the scratches in there before, but now that it's washed and dried, as I run the lights over it, you could see on the areas at the top of the fender, on the hood, even down the sides of the vehicle, we're going to have to give this paint a lot of attention. So this is my first attempt for my test spot here. I'm using a Eurofiber pad 3D1 Rupes polisher and just kind of going over this area. I did about 4 or 5 passes, wiped it down, and you'll see with my light on it, there's a big difference. So right now you're seeing what I didn't touch yet. And as I pan to the right, you'll see that those defects kind of go away, but there's still some here and there sporadically. I wasn't 100% happy with the results I was getting here. So after I did the 3D1 with the Eurofiber pad, I came back with the orange HDO pad and tried out a little bit polish just to see what the results would look like after that. And it looks way better on the camera, but sitting in front of it, I still wasn't 100% happy. So later on down the road, as I worked my way down the car, I went back and started using the blue HDO pad, as you can see here, with Meguiar's 105. So a little heavier cut compound. I think 3D1 would have taken everything out. It just would have taken a little bit longer. This was doing a little quicker job for me. So I'm going to run around the whole car with Meguiar's 105 and knock out all of those surface scratches, and then come back with Optimum Hyper Spray polish. Very easy to use. Comes in a spray bottle. Spray it directly onto your finishing pad. I wound up using a Lake Country finishing pad, which you'll see a little bit later on, but it was perfecting the paint and giving me a great surface for the ceramic coating. The black stripes on the hood were a little tricky, so I stuck with the blue HDO pad, but I wasn't using Meguiar's 105 here. It was giving it way too much of a cut, and the haziness was just horrible. 3D1 was doing the job here. 3D1, few passes, was knocking out the imperfections in the paint. You can see as you follow the light up, left side here, the stripe in the video did not touch yet. Here's the part where I was using 3D1. You can see there's a huge difference between the left side and the right side of that stripe. My daughter's usually out in the shop with me a few days during the week when my mom's not available to come up and hang out with her. So teaching her how to put some dots onto the pad. She's my compound applicator. So working my way around the car, just have to finish up this door and the rear quarter, and we'll be ready to move on to the next step. So here's my second and final pass around the vehicle. As I mentioned earlier, I'm using a gray or black Lake Country HDO pad. This is a finishing pad with the Optimum Hyper Polish, and it's in a spray bottle. Spray it right on the pad, maybe 2 or 3 passes, and work my way around the car. This is not intended for like removing blemishes or scratches. That was my first step. This is taking the haze out, fine finishing the paint, jeweling the paint, giving it a great shine so that it's prepped for ceramic coating. Now that I'm finished with all the compound and polishing on the paint, the last step to do before applying the ceramic coating would be to strip the surface of any polishing residue or oils that are still on the paint. And the goal here is to remove everything, get the paint squeaky clean, so that whatever protection, even if it is a sealant or a wax, has a very clean surface to adhere to. You're not going to get the full advertised length or longevity out of the coating if you do not have a clean surface. Most of the time I'll go around the car probably twice using the same product here, just to ensure that everything's super clean and good to go. I won't bore you with the process of applying the coating, but here's the results.
All right, so as you can see in the background, this thing is gleaming right now. It looks great. Huge difference from what it looked like before. And you saw the video of me going down the sides and the hood and all the panels, taking a look at it and seeing how scratchy it was. And now we're looking pretty good. So it's polished, it's protected, and like I mentioned earlier, it's going to be protected for quite a while. You can see just the lights gleaming off of the hood as you walk around. Before, it kind of had like a faded look to it. The reason why a vehicle is going to look a little cloudy when it has a lot of scratches in it and does not have that gloss or that depth is because the light reflecting off of it is getting bounced in all various directions. When you have the paint perfected, that light that's bouncing off the paint is coming right back to your eye, and you get that gloss and that really deep wet look to the paint, which is what we have going on here. All right, so that's gonna do it for this detail on this 1968 Mustang GT. Hopefully you liked watching the transformation, and if you did, be sure to check out our other videos, hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll see you on the next detail.